Welcome to the VVIP with Ahmed Anoosh. My guest today is Dr. Abdullah Rashid Ahmed. He's the Director of International Affairs and a Senior Lecturer of Mians International College. He's also a former Principal of Majidiyah School. Dr. Abdullah Rashid Ahmed, very warm welcome to the VVIP with Ahmed Anoosh.
Thank you so much, Anoosh, for giving this opportunity.
Pleasure. You have been working in education sector for more than 25 years, especially in secondary education and higher secondary. Students, they're young, that age, especially in secondary school age, they want to experience different stuff. They're very active. What have you noticed in your career?
As you said, I also have noticed that students are active and they like to involve different activities. So when anybody is managing a school, we should provide them opportunities in the classroom, outside of the classroom, curricular activities and co-curricular activities. Then they will be very motivated in learning and also coming to school.
Students are very active, but sometimes, and one may say often, they misbehave because of that age maybe, and misbehave in the sense that it's maybe difficult sometimes to tolerate for adults their behavior at that age. So it's a very different age. Secondary school education, how important is that part or that area of education for the coming years of a child or a student?
I can say it is the most important part of anybody's life, because in order to pursue tertiary education and even higher secondary education, secondary education is very important. It's just like your passport to go abroad. Suppose you don't have your passport, then there is no way that you can go abroad. Similarly, if you want to pursue secondary education and higher secondary education, are performing in different levels. Some students are very good, very intelligent. At the same time, there are students who are unable to successfully complete secondary education. It depends. This depends on many factors. For example, in the primary level, if the student is unable to complete primary education successfully, then definitely that would negatively affect secondary education. And then, as I said, many factors are there. Parents should play an important role in child's education, and the teachers who teach the students in primary grades, and their contribution is very important. Based on all these reasons, different students are completing secondary education in different levels. As you have noticed that every year many students are getting Brilliance Award A stars and those things. At the same time, as you have noticed that some students are getting U's, so we can see students in between from U and A star. So in this range, why students are performing in different, that's very subjective. It depends on many reasons.
In secondary school, some students, they take arts subjects, sometimes business subjects, but sometimes they change their whole study in their A levels, or they may do a degree in a very different field. So is that a good thing, you believe?
Actually, that's not a good thing. You have rightly identified it. The problem is some students, they were not really focused. They really don't know to whom they want to be. Actually, it's the responsibility of their teachers, school management and the parents. We should guide the students, and we should identify what are their interests and what are their talents and those things. Based on that, we have to guide the students, and then they can identify or they can choose a career long before or they join the career. As you have mentioned, that even I have my experience that students, those who have completed A level, still they don't know what they are going to be, what they are going, what's their interest, or what is the job they are going to work. So if it happens, then these kind of deviations would come in child's life. That's not a good thing. The best thing would be well in advance, the child should decide to whom he or she wants to be.
You have also worked in higher secondary education.
Yes.
Tell me about your experience.
In my experience, higher education level is much more easier to handle than secondary.
Why is it?
Because higher secondary education, the students are more matured than secondary education. And another thing is, in order to get a placement in higher secondary, they should have certain number of persons in O level. Therefore, those who join at A level, they are matured and they are interested in studies. So for the teachers and for the school management, it is easy to handle. At the same time, A level students, in my experience, they are very good and very cooperative, very participative, and most of the students, they do well in studies. When you ask this question, I reflect my principalship in Nyavianiatol Education Center. Actually, our students, for 3 consecutive years, they produced A levels best results for 3 years. So that means my experience in A level is very fruitful. So that's how I have seen A level. So I have a very positive attitude towards high secondary students.
And after that, now, as I've said at the start, majority of the years you have been working in secondary education sector and also higher secondary education sector.
Yes.
Right now you're working in a different part of the education, much more matured, as you just said. You said secondaries, you worked you're going up, I should say. You're going now working in the more advanced level of education, I should say, tertiary education sector. What's your experience right now? You're the Director of International Affairs and also a senior lecturer in my college, one of the colleges, I should say well-established colleges in the Maldives right now. And why did you change? What do you want to experience?
Actually, as you said, I joined the education sector as a teacher in Nyavianiatol Education Center. I worked as a teacher for 5 years, and then I was promoted as a supervisor of the same school. Then I worked as a supervisor for 5 years. Then after that, I went abroad to Sri Lanka to do diploma in school management. After completing this diploma, I was appointed as the headmaster of Seen at all school in Seen Hurdu Midu. So that's how I started the principalship. There I worked for 4 years. Then after that again I went to abroad for higher studies. I did my bachelor's degree in Malaysia. After that I went back to my island for Mula. I worked as the principal of Nyavian Atoll Education Center for 8 years. Then as you mentioned, I'm the former principal of Majidia. Then after working in school for so long, I thought then I should go ahead. And I'm always interested in lecturing, teaching college level, university level students. Then I thought after completing PhD, I would bring a change in my career. That's how I joined my college.
So right now, as the Director of International Affairs, what's your role? Can you elaborate on that?
Very good question, Anoosh. Actually, as the Director of International Affairs, my main responsibility is connecting and affiliating our college with other universities in other countries. So we have already affiliated with Open University Sri Lanka, and also we are affiliated with Asia E University Malaysia, and we are on the way to affiliate with University Tun Hussein On Malaysia, which is a technical vocational university in Malaysia. And also we are in the process of affiliating with University Utara Malaysia. So mainly what my responsibility is bringing international degrees, masters and PhD programs to Maldives, and connecting and networking with other universities. That is my responsibility.
And also you are a senior lecturer in my college.
Yes. So as a lecturer, I teach many subjects to the students, from certificate level, diploma, bachelor's degree, and also postgraduate courses I am teaching. Then I take education subjects, business subjects, management subjects, and leadership subjects to the students.
In your experience, what's the way to achieve good results in higher education?
Okay, first of all, whoever wants to achieve success in higher education, the person should have a vision, should have a goal, what you want to achieve. Like you just want to achieve a distinction, high distinction, or you want to be the best student in your college or university. The first thing is, starting point is determine what you want to achieve. After this determination, then your commitment, your hard work, and always focused on what you want to achieve, then inshallah you can achieve. So in short I can say, that is identifying your goal and making a plan how to achieve your goal, hard working, commitment, and continuous work until you achieve what you want. Then anybody can be successful.
In your opinion, people say that it's easy to get education, especially higher education these days. You think especially the people, or the youngsters I should say, who finish their O-levels or A-levels, are they benefiting from higher education too much, to the extent that they are valuable to the country? Just doing a degree is not enough. They should practice what they've got, isn't it?
Yes, as you said, in terms of the benefit, I can say yes, at the same time can say no also. Why yes? Because when somebody complete a degree, then he or she can get jobs, because education qualification is there. Then as you have identified, some students, they are unable to apply what they learn. They know the theory, but they are unable to put into practice. That's actually the problem in secondary education, higher secondary education as well, because some are just interested for the certificate, or some are interested for the result. If it is the case, then we will not get the maximum benefit. So that problem we can see in secondary, higher secondary and tertiary education level also.
Helping for the benefit of the country or doing something for the country, different people they mean in different ways. What do you think, doing something for the country?
Doing something for the country, actually we can do many things in different capacities we can do. As we are talking about education sector, students, they should be good students, they should be competent. I can use the word competent students. That means they should be skillful, they should be talented, they should have positive attitude, they should have knowledge. If actually it's the education sector which makes country a developed country.
While you were pursuing your secondary education and also tertiary education, I should say, what are the challenges that you faced, but finally somehow, some way that you just moved forward and did what you want?
Actually, I can say it was really challenging. When I reflect back my tertiary education while I was in Malaysia, I was half self-funded and also half Villa Foundation funding I got. But still, as I had a family, at the same time I was a student, so it was very challenging financially. Then staying 3 years in Malaysia after leaving my family was another challenge. So despite all the challenge, I can say I was able to very successfully complete my higher education.
Finally, you did what you want. So what next? What's your next step in terms of education that you want to achieve?
As you know, I have completed my PhD. So I believe what I should do is I should contribute my knowledge and my understanding and wisdom with the Maldivian community and the community at large in the whole world. So I'm really interested to do research and also to publish something, inshallah, based on the availability of time. I would do that. So my next goal is, as I said, contributing my knowledge with the society.
You're also very much involved in public speaking, I should say, public speaking competitions and also debate competitions. How did you got interested to this field?
Okay, while I was a student, as you know, always in VVIP period, VVIP teachers, they try to train the students for oratory skills. But always, most of the students, they have unknown fear to come to the podium and do the practice. Fortunately, while I was small, this interest has been created. So I utilized all the available opportunities. So as a child, actually, I got interest. Then after that, while I was doing teachers training, and then while I was a teacher, then different parts of my career, I was interested and I participated in different types of oratory programs.
Speaking, especially in competitions, that's a different thing, especially if there is a competition. It depends upon the judges. So it's maybe you're very good at public speaking, but you may not get what you want in that particular special event or competition. So these are very two different things. One may want to be an audience person, or one may want to be a judges person. So these are different stuff, and sometimes both you can get. It depends. What's your comment on that?
Actually, in any competition, I can say judges always should be fair. If judges are not fair, then very talented people may decide not to compete. Therefore, in my belief, especially as what we are talking about oratory competitions, judges should be very knowledgeable in terms of the topics which has been debated, and also they should be highly skillful in oratory. They should have oratory skills. Then if they are lacking any of these areas, sometimes judgment may affect negatively those who are very interested to participate such things. So nothing more to say about this.
Especially in these types of competitions, even in the Maldives, we do have, but it's very few, to be honest. That's something we should say right now. But public speaking competitions or debate competition, or just public speaking, you think anyone can be a good public speaker? Just anyone?
Anyone cannot be a good speaker, because it is natural talent, and also some talents through practice you can get it, and also you should be knowledgeable. Therefore, there are certain requirements in order to be a good speaker. Therefore, just anybody cannot be a good speaker.
What's your explanation for the natural characteristic you just mentioned?
Natural characteristics includes some people are very competent even without practice, and their confidence level is also high. In order to be a good speaker, confidence is very important, competency is very important. Then some people, they have innate talent, bring in variation, body language, all the natural talents and gifts are there. Then by practicing, one can harmonize all these skills and one can be an effective speaker. You can see very good speakers, and you can see some people when they speak, it's really boring. Audience may wish the person would leave the podium as soon as possible. On the other hand, if somebody is speaking very well, very effectively, they would enjoy like a stage show. So that difference is there.
Yeah. Moving on to another topic before we finish. In coming years, after many years, maybe 20-30 years, what would be the sector that you contributed in your career, education sector, would be like?
I can say education sector is developing day by day in terms of resources, more beautiful schools with many facilities, and teachers' quality is also improving day by day. And new curriculum, we are using a new curriculum, but still I'm worried about how we are implementing the curriculum. In the Maldives, as you can see, even the past 20 years, even now, we are very much exam oriented. Because of exam oriented nature, the real meaning of education is really misunderstood. Parents and schools, even students, they themselves believe education is producing the result, and their goal is getting A star or brilliance award. So if the result is good, they believe, okay, it's fine. But if this practice is going on, even next 20 years, I can say the effectiveness of education and the benefit of education would be minimum. We have a very beautiful curriculum. The philosophy of this curriculum or the vision is also very good, which says our students should be motivated to learn and explore, and they should be competent and confident, and they should be responsible and productive. The question is, our students, are they getting this? Are they responsible? Are they productive? Are they competent? Are they confident? Are they motivated? So the answer, different people will give the answer differently. Despite of having a very good vision, but in the practice, what we do is just we are coaching the students to do O-level exam and A-level exam. Therefore, this really needs a change. Then the benefit will come. I hope in future it would be better. Now some technical vocational courses are also like B.Tech and Daswar, such things are also going on that may help. But still, I believe that a total change is required in terms of implementing the curriculum in order to make our students more confident and competent.
Some people, they think education is just all about passing an exam, but it's more than that. The practical stuff is also vital. How important is the practical? You just somewhere mentioned that we are not focusing that much on the practical part.
Actually, why we are studying, why we are getting knowledge? We are getting knowledge in the purpose is to practice it. So if we don't practice what we know, actually it has no use. The purpose of education is to prepare the students for life and hereafter. But if theory is just given as theory without providing opportunity for students to practice, then it will be really difficult. We can see some examples. A lot of students are getting A in Divehi, but if somebody asked them to write a letter to an office, they would not know. If you want to test what I am saying, whether this is true or not, you can test with this your own children, or your neighbor's children, or your relatives. Test it. So very confidently I am saying this. So this is just one example. Many things are like this. We can see countries like Japan, Singapore, and other countries. They are really practicing what students learn. They go to school in the morning, and then they study, they do the work, they clean the school, they eat in their own, they clean the dishes. So everything a person needs is practicing in the school. They study, they do the homework, they finish everything, they go home in the evening. After going home, then they don't need to do the homework, they don't need to go to the tuition and all those things. But our students are so busy. In the morning, suppose in the morning they go to school, they do some work, just mostly the knowledge, and after finish their school, then they go to this tuition, that tuition. They are too busy. Parents are also busy taking students here and there. So the whole day they are struggling. But all these struggle again focus to exam. This tuition means again parents are spending and the child is trying to pass in an exam. What is as you said, what is the practical part? It is lacking. It is really lacking.
So how can we change this? It should come, normally we try to bring it from outside this country, the concept. It's got different types of concepts. So we need to change from there. So the whole world needs a change.
Yes, I agree with you. If we want to change the practice, what we need to do is we should not only base on O-level exam. O-level exam is just checking students' knowledge. How about their attitude? How about their skill? How about their interpersonal relationship? About other skills? It's lacking. Therefore, we should use multi-dimensional approach, assessing the students. We have to assess their practical skills, all these. And we should understand and we should realize, like O-level exam or whatever the name, any written exam can be just, let's say, 10 or 20% of assessing somebody's competency. Therefore, we should change it. We should not depend, we should not believe that O-level or A-level exam is everything. When this change, if we bring this change, then definitely the implementation part will change.
Dr. Abdullah Rashid Ahmed, thank you very much for being on the VVIP with Ahmed Anoosh.
Most welcome.